Shit. I'll close the door first. And then I'm coming. What a great start to this video. Okay. Alright, so I got my contacts in today. Got the increased production value. I don't know about this light behind me. Maybe I should I don't know. Is that better? Then I'm at a weird angle. I don't know. Anyway, I'll have to work on this. Maybe we can increase this. So felt like making another video today. Oh wow, now we got a whole different setup. Alright. So what do I want to talk about today? Felt like making another video. Putting it on the internet. Let's see, how does it feel when you're being recorded and recording yourself, kind of knowing you're going to put something up? It's a little bit different. It's just a little bit more alive. It's kind of like stressful, but it's not necessarily like bad, stressful, bad or good. Oh, bad or good. That would be an interesting philosophical concept. A lot of people think that or believe that like good and bad are like absolutes, objective, like killing people, lying, are bad. Absolutely. And another way to think about it is that it's not absolute, but it could be relative and also subjective. But relative is kind of like you've probably heard this expression: one man's trash is another man's treasure. And the way, like, maybe you'd think like, oh, that doesn't make any sense. Like, if someone has an extra belt and they throw it away because they don't need it, then someone else needs the belt. It's like, oh, it could be a free belt, but usually you'd have to pay for it. But kind of how it would work with like morality is like, and it's like the virtue is the trash or the treasure or the vice. And so it's like, if one man, there's a lot of different examples. Maybe I can try different ones. For one thing that comes to my mind first is like lying, deceit. If one man sees like opportunity in lying, then it could be a good thing for him. It's like if he lies to more people, then it gives him more like freedom on at least a surface level. And then there's this depth to it too. There's seeing the bigger picture and the smaller picture. So what I mean by surface level is smaller picture. There's more freedom to it because you don't want to have to worry about it, what you say. But going back to the other point is like, another guy might say, oh, but it's not good to lie, and it's better to not lie and be honest. And so maybe this guy practices honesty, maybe like radical honesty, where it's like not even like small white lies, because it's like, do you try to just reduce the amount and heaviness of lies, or do you totally cut it out as much as possible, or just reduce it? So maybe this guy tries to reduce it, so it's like he tries to lie as like little as possible, whereas another guy doesn't really limit it like that, and maybe does it for fun or some shit. Like, I don't know. So hopefully, I mean, yeah. So maybe that kind of can open your mind about it a little bit. Maybe not. You kind of, to open your mind, even beyond just like these things I'm talking about, is like you kind of have to like resonate with the opening, and it's like it's almost like, if it's okay, so think of like yoga, like stretching. Like if you stretch a little bit every day, you'll become more and more flexible. But it's like, so if I stretch for like 3 weeks, I'll be pretty flexible, and then on that fourth week, I will be able to get a little bit more flexible, and I'll be able to like put my fingers like, well, maybe I can restart. All right, hopefully that just left off where I started. All right, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, so let's say after like that fourth week, or you can like put your fingers past your toes, maybe 4 inches or whatever, But um, on the like, let's say with the third week, at the end of the third week, you could put your fingers 4 inches past your toes, and then the end of the fourth week, you could put. That just makes it too confusing. Let me start this over. If you put at the end of the third week, you put your fingers 3 inches past your toes. Just keep the numbers the same. And after the end of the fourth week, you can put your fingers 4 inches past your toes. So, um, to be able to put your fingers 4 inches past your toes, you have to be like have that opening available. You wouldn't be able to do that the first week of starting, at the end of the first week. Maybe like let's say at the very beginning, day 0, you can touch your toes, but you can't go any farther. So it's like you're eligible for this week, and at the end of the week to be able to touch your fingers 1 inch past your toes, but you're not eligible to put your fingers 4 inches past your toes because you have to work up to that. You're not like open to that. So what I'm kind of saying is like to open your mind, you have to be like eligible for that. So if you try to teach someone something or they're trying to teach you something and it's not clicking, then maybe you're not eligible. And it's also like yeah, so don't waste your time and energy. But it's also like um, if you are eligible and you're like headed in that direction, like you'll probably figure it out from like one source or another or yourself. So it's like you don't really have to worry about like how you're going to get it or where you're going to get it from, like the dirty details. Like if you can, especially if you get into like the energy behind it and the meditation, the visualization, and you can empower that, this spiritual stuff. You can, a lot of people talk about the power of manifestation and like visualizing your future. If you can visualize it, it like, and if you at least understand how like resonance works beyond like physical stuff, and you resonate with it, then it's like law of attraction type thing. I mean, I'm not saying that's true or not, whatever. I'm just saying if that resonates with you, then you can then you can understand how it works. So I'm saying, um, so yeah, it's already like over 7 minutes. I might go for a walk, if that's still available. Um, anything else I want to talk about? Morals. I think in general, another thing, just life advice. It's for you as an individual. Forget God, forget your family, forget your friends. For you as an individual, forget the world. It's good to have a moral compass and like principles and moral guidelines. And if you do something that goes against someone else's opinion or the group opinion or the world's consensus, or if someone tells you God's consensus and it's like bad in their opinion, but in your mind and in your even your heart it's like okay and good, then it's okay. And also same with vice versa. If people say something is okay but in your mind and in your heart it's not okay, then don't do that. Or I'm not saying don't do it, but I'm not saying do this or do that. What I mean to say is um, what I see as a value in my personal life is um, cultivating energy, and you can cultivate character as like a different, as like one layer of one color of the energy, because it's all connected in one way or another. So it's like when you cultivate your character, and if you have this idea of like what's good for you, even if it's different from other people's ideas, it's like if you choose to do what in your mind and in heart is good, then you can cultivate your character, and it gives you like a purpose, at least on a small level, just for this like this moment, for this day, and you can feel happy about it. And maybe you can feel happy in that moment, and maybe you can feel happy after that moment looking back, because you kind of, maybe it gives you pride or something, I don't know. um, so yeah, I I don't know how long I want to ramble in these videos. Maybe I'll just do longer videos because most of these have been like from like 6 to 10 minutes or so. I might do multiple videos. I might do different kinds of videos. Some people's that I've watched on the internet do like longer videos, like 15 to like 50 minutes, maybe an hour, and they talk about like their view on reality and life and spirituality and energy and spiritual technology, things like that. Those things are passionate for me. I mean, those things I'm interested in, I'm passionate about. Um, but I feel like the putting myself in front of a camera is kind of a cool thing, and it seems like a lot of people are starting to do that, and um, the success is attractive, although it's not necessarily exactly what I'm going for, because it takes a lot of like setup and production value and having like your like goals exactly like who you're trying to target, what you're trying to target, set up. So I'm kind of doing is just kind of doing it, kind of starting something to work on a foundation, kind of like, let's say you want to be more flexible physically, and it's like if it's kind of like a half-assed like goal where it's like, nah, I don't want to go to a yoga class. I don't want to research it on the internet for an hour or a long time. I don't want to get hire a yoga instructor. It's like, well, you can do your own self search with it. You can like be like, well, I saw this one guy do some kind of stretch, and maybe other people would think it's like the dumbest stretch that doesn't even work. And then you do that, and then you see how it works, and then maybe you progress in that, and maybe by doing that, it gives you some motivation to do another stretch, and so it builds upon itself. And so almost like what I'm doing here is just like I'm doing my own meditation energy things, my own, I don't know if it's ego cultivation or just energy cultivation, because the energy goes like beyond the ego anyway, but this is kind of just an extension of what I've already been doing, and it it'll probably just keep growing. I mean, yep, okay. I think I'm gonna go for a walk, so maybe I'll do another video later. All right, how to end this shit. Cool. All right, peace, guys.